I'd like to talk to you today about a really exciting new piece on the Grade 8 piano syllabus, and that is Caballos, Españoles, a piece by Uwe Korn, which is actually a reworking of the wonderful piece Por una cabeza by Carlos Gardel. You'd probably know the melody, as indeed I did, but didn't know its origin, didn't know the song. I've heard it in its arrangement for violin. It's quite famous in that way, and used in a couple of films, Schindler's List and Scent of a Woman. So it's the sort of music that we feel we recognise. But Korn has given it a more modern feel, more modern take. The piece, the song itself, Por una cabeza, refers to a man sadly losing at the horses. It means by a head, and that's referring to his horse who he's put all his money on, and it's going really well, but it loses by a head at the very end of the race. And he says, this is just like my love life. I keep falling in love with the wrong woman. I think she's wonderful, but then I'm let down and disappointed. So very strongly in the Argentine tango tradition, it's a song full of emotion and passion and feeling. Gardel very tragically died the year that this was written, in 1935, almost to the day of recording, June the 24th, 1935. Which lends it perhaps a more tragic quality as well. But it's such exciting music, and I have to say, certainly if it was my grade 8 this year, I'm sure I would have been choosing this piece. And it's a wonderful one to work at with our pupils because there are so many layers to it, but also because of its structure, it's quite easy to work at different sections, which is always a good thing. It opens with a very fiery introduction, and we then hear the main theme played with a sense, I feel, that we need of kind of rubato in that right hand to really bring the piece alive, make it sound really like the original song, but with the firm tango rhythms down in the bass. So on, so you recognise that beautiful song. Now, Korn then sends us into two separate areas he calls Chorus 1 and Chorus 2, where he takes the same harmonic sequence and that wonderful offbeat tango rhythm in the left hand, really kind of quite complicated rhythm that really needs putting into place first, so that's absolutely rock solid. And then in Chorus 1 there's a more straightforward feeling of improvisation. I'll just play the second half of that. So that takes us straight into Chorus 2. Now this is where life gets more complicated. This is certainly a piece for one of your pupils who would be quite virtuosic and really into the jazz tradition, because Chorus 2 takes us into the world more of perhaps Keith Jarrett. So you've got this wonderful right hand really stretching out. It needs to feel very secure. I would work it at a slow tempo, quite definitely. Not just to get the right hand itself in place and to look at fingering patterns and so on, but to develop some really exciting offbeat and very expressive accenting to really highlight the wonderful phrasing, and it's stretching out at great length on the keyboard, but also to look hard at how it then coincides with that wonderful left hand rhythm. That could be quite a complicated thing, so I would definitely approach it quite slowly to start with. That sort of works, so really actually just looking at where that all fits, and then gradually to feel that we could go for it a little bit more excitingly. influences in the right hand there. So that's the sort of big piece of work there. We then return to the opening introduction and the first statement of that wonderful melody, full of passion and excitement, before just a short but dramatic coda finally finishes the piece off. So really one where I want to do a lot of listening work with my pupil. Of course, the original song, absolutely, but also works by composers and musicians like Piazzolla to get really into the tango Argentine tradition there. And Jarrett, as I say, and other works by Korn. He's a really exciting composer with lots of wonderful jazz ideas going on there. So let's listen just to that very ending of the piece where it's just so dramatic.